Hi everyone, it's Katie and today is another Q&A with me where I answer all of your questions. You submitted some really great ones this time, so I'm very excited to answer them. Before we get there though, I just want to tell you a couple little things. First and foremost, the workouts will be coming back starting in the month of December. I'm in New York right now, but I'll be going home for the month of December, so I have access to that studio space. So you will be getting a lot more of those. I'm going to probably take a break from the makeup after the last couple of Nutcracker makeup air. I just wanted to get those done for all of you. But I really want to take this channel into more of a personal relationship with all of you. We're still going to do all the ballet things. I'm really going to try and help you all with technique, do a lot of technique specific videos, a lot more workouts, more beauty and hair and fashion and things. But I'm also going to take you along with me. A lot of people have been asking me for what is my life like? What do my days look like? So I'll be bringing you along for more of that, maybe some holiday footage. I'm hoping to get back to dancing by the spring. So I'm going to be taking you on my journey back to the stage as well. So just a lot more wonderful things because you all are so encouraging to me and you continue to inspire me to do this. And I am just so thrilled that you all are loving my channel. So I really want to provide more for you all so you can really see what life is like as a dancer, as well as get more help from me. I really want to help you all with your dancing and your technique because you're excited about the fact that I help you and my workouts and things seem to be effective. So look forward to more of that. Also, on this Q&A, as well as my previous ones, if you look in the box below, I have all the times listed of the different topics we're going to cover. So if you don't have all the time in the world to watch this video and you want to skip to certain questions, or if on the previous ones you want to go back and look up an answer that I might have already answered, you can look in the box below at all the times and they're listed there for you for your convenience. Okay, so here we go with the questions. It is rumored that if you audition for SAB and get in but do not attend the summer course, then they won't accept you again. Is this true? How do you feel about auditioning for summer courses and saying no to them? Will this burn all of my bridges with these companies? Fantastic question. In my auditioning days, I went to SAB when I was 13 for the summer, and then I did not audition the following year, but I did go back when I was 15, and they took me. They had been looking for me. Where were you? We missed you. However, that was about 10 years ago, so I don't know if it's the same thing now. To be perfectly honest with you, it might burn a bridge or two. These days, companies and especially summer courses are taking a lot of students. So I don't know if they'll hold it against you per se, but I think it's always good to think about where you want to audition before you do it. Don't just do a bunch and then I'll decide later. I think it's really important that you narrow down your focus so that you don't keep turning these companies down. I think maybe if you turn a school down once, it's not a big deal, but twice, they'll know you're not interested. So I would be careful. I'm sorry that's not a very good answer, but I think I wouldn't worry about it too much, but I think there is a possibility they could hold it against you. Will it burn your bridge with the company? Probably not. With the school, it's very hard to say. There's no really black and white answer here. How do you recommend getting into a large major company? For example, PNB and NYCB or ABT. The thing I always tell people, if you want to go to one of these companies and if you have your heart set on it, is to really try and attend their school, especially the big ones. Well, with New York City Ballet, you have to. You have to attend SAB in order to be in New York City Ballet. But in ABT and PNB, they really are nowadays picking right from their schools. It used to be that ABT didn't have a big school, so they would take from all over the place, but now they're really looking at their dancers. Same with PNB. Their school has really, really grown and they're really looking at those kids. So try and attend their school. Also do your research. What kind of rep do they do? Know if they're a classical company, if they're a balancing company. Those are all pretty self-explanatory, but I would really do your research. Make sure you have good technique, good artistry, but if you really want to get into one of the big companies, look at their schools. The next few questions kind of go together. Can you still be a ballerina and have a longer torso and shorter legs? Does SAB like longer legs? And do you know of any professionals at New York City Ballet with a longer torso? A lot of dancers at New York City Ballet have a long torso. Maria Karowski is one of them. Gorgeous dancer, has an incredibly long torso. She also has really long legs, but her torso is really, really long. The second question, going along with this, I am 12 years old with very long legs, short torso, wide rib cage, and shoulders. I have a flexible lower back, so it's difficult to hold my center. I also have giant calves and size 9 feet. Do I have a good body type for a dancer? Going with the previous question, what is the ideal body type? There's not really one nowadays. A long time ago, balancing like the long neck, long legs. Nowadays it's more about how you dance and how you look dancing, and are you artistic, and how do you look in the ballets. People, as far as I'm aware, don't say, oh, she has a long torso, I'm not going to take her, or oh, her legs are too short, I'm not going to take her. It's, does she look good? Can she dance the ballets? Can I put her in, you know, my company with however many other people? Yes, I mean, this, whoever's describing herself as with the size 9 feet, etc. Take one wonderful dancer, Savannah Lowry of the New York City Ballet, is very tall. She is very large boned, but she has such an amazing body. Very, very muscular, very long legs, very sort of broad dancer. And she looks amazing on stage. So really there's no set body type. And I also know dancers who are 5 feet tall and are teeny tiny things. So again, there's really no set body type for dancer nowadays. 20 years ago, maybe. What is the ideal weight for a dancer? There is no set limit to that either. It's how you look at the costume, it's how you look on stage, it's how you can dance the ballets. The reality of the situation is you have to be thin as a dancer. It hurts otherwise, it doesn't look good otherwise, the boys can't lift you otherwise. You don't have to be anorexically thin, you don't have to be, you know, emaciated, but I cannot answer that. It's different for every person because they're different heights. You know, a 5 foot person is not going to weigh the same as a 6 foot person, so it varies. Do you recommend yoga for dancers? Because I have thought about making that part of my weekly routine. I think it can definitely help dancers. It can really help with your flexibility. It can really help keep you elongated and keep your joints really fluid. The problem comes in when you do it too often and it takes away from your dancing, or it makes you too limber. You can't be too limber as a dancer. You have to have some strength in there. Otherwise, you can't move fast, you can't jump if you're too, you know, wonky. But I think it's definitely a good supplemental exercise. Whenever I hold my leg a la Second or Devant, it hurts my quad. My quads are quite bigger than the other girls and more gymnastics-like. How can I be able to hold my leg longer and higher more easily? I tell people with extensions, it's not about the quad, it's about the supporting hip. If you do a développé side and think about the supporting hip, it takes the pressure off of the working leg, the leg that's up, and it will. I can pretty much guarantee the leg will feel lighter, and you can get it up higher. So anytime you're doing an extension, front, back, side, doesn't matter. Think of the supporting hip. My ballet teacher thinks that pointe isn't that important, so I can only do the basics and some turns. Can I still be a dancer? No, unless you do some more pointe work, because being a ballerina requires you to feel like you're in pointe shoes and have them be second nature to you. They need to feel like they are part of your leg. You need to be able to do pretty much everything in them, turn, jump, walk. They need to be a part of you. They need to feel like second nature. So can you still be a dancer? Of course you can. You just need to start doing more pointe work. You cannot be a ballerina without doing full pointe work. You should be able to do an entire ballet class in your pointe shoes. I want to do ballet professionally, but I don't know if I should dream big and try for a big company or stay small. I'm in the highest level of ballet at my studio. What do you think? Because I want to dream big, but I want to stay realistic. That's a very good question. I love telling people to dream big. Why not? You know? But yes, at the end of the day, you do have to be slightly realistic. I think work as hard as you can and go for it. What have you got to lose? You know, audition for every company. You might as well audition for ABT. You might as well audition for P&B. And then if that doesn't work out, then you can go smaller. So dream big, why not? Do you recommend canvas or leather split sole ballet slippers? And what is the best kind of beginner pointe shoe? It depends on how strong your feet are. At SAB, The younger ones, at least they were when I was there, are required to wear leather because it's a little bit thicker fabric and a little bit harder to point your feet. So it strengthens your feet more. It teaches them to really point. While the canvas can sometimes feel like a sock, but nowadays I'm back into the canvas. I really like them. So I think it just depends on where you are in your training. If you really want to strengthen your feet, I go for leather. But if you're further along and wear pointe shoes all the time every day, you can wear canvas. The thing about beginner pointe shoes, actually any pointe shoes, no matter what they are, if you're a beginner or if you're advanced, and I say this to you a lot, is to make sure they fit you correctly. If you're dancing in too small, too wide, too narrow, whichever it is, it will really, really hurt you. For example, I told you all I was wearing some pointe shoes that were far too narrow very, very recently. And the problem was when they're too narrow, your feet are like this and you cannot roll through. I could not roll through my foot. So once I got the right shoe, I could actually bend my feet, and I feel like they're stronger because of that. So no matter what brand you get, make sure they fit well. But some good starting out brands, I would maybe try the Freed Studios. They have several kinds of Freed Studios. Capezio makes a wide variety of shanks. I would really try something that's not so hard. Your feet are not that strong yet, so make sure it just has a soft shank. I don't think there's one specific answer here, but go to your local dance store, have them fit you, and ask them what a nice soft shank is, what you should be wearing. Is it bad for pointe shoes to be too soft? I'm so comfortable in my points, but all of my friends say that has no support. How do you use those? I'm not sure if it could be too dangerous. They are correct. If you're dancing in shoes that are too soft, you are doing serious damage to your feet. You're really sinking into the shoe, and what's happening is that the shoe is not supporting you, and your bones are your feet, all of your weight are on your teeny little bones in your feet. And so you could be getting some premature stress fractures if you continue, or really bad tendonitis. If your shoes are dead, you need new shoes. It's really, really worth it. I've seen people strain the top of their foot from being in too dead of shoes. Trust me, trust all the professionals. You do not want shoes that are too soft. Guaranteed, obviously shoes that are too hard are really annoying, but you really want one that can still support you and you're not supporting all your weight on your little teeny bones of your feet. I'm in Party Scene Snow, Arabian, and Flowers. Do you have any suggestions for transitioning my makeup? Fantastic question. You're not the only one who's asked me this. Something you can always do is wear a basic look, such as my basic stage makeup look, and maybe highlight with one color. You could do it with maybe purple under the eye or blue under the eye or something. But the other option I have for you is in my snowflake makeup tutorial, which I will link right here. I show you at the end how to transition from snow to Act 2 very, very quickly. It's very, very simple. Take a look at it. You can go to this time right here on that video to see how you can easily transition. But otherwise, just wear some basic neutral colors, red lip, normal cheek, normal eye color, with maybe the accent color of your choice on the bottom. That's always a good option. But go to my snowflake video to see how to transition. Do you have any advice on storing and transporting a rehearsal tutu? Fantastic question. I have one from Discount Dance, I believe it is. It's basically a tutu bag, and it's this sort of round, disc-like bag that you put it in, and it's got two handles, and you can hold both handles, and it basically just folds it in half, yet doesn't crease it. Go to Discount Dance and look for tutu tote or something like that, tutu carry bag. I'll link it below if they have one, but they do have bags for those. The next two questions also kind of go together. The dance studio I'm currently at only has one class a week. How can I get more training? Should I switch studios? And someone else asked, I feel like I'm not improving enough at my school. How can I improve more? If you're only getting one class a week, yes, you do need to switch studios. If you want to be a professional dancer, you have to be doing at least 5 classes a week. Again, that's why I've done the bars on here. As I said in the intro, I will be doing more workouts coming up, so I hope those are helping you. I would encourage you all to do those as much as you can on your own, which is why I've created them. But yes, you probably do need to be going to another studio. But also, if you're at your current studio in that one class, or no matter what class you're taking, if you're doing my bars, or if you're at your own studio and if you have 1,000 classes a week, the way to improve the most is to really focus when you're in class. Focus on your placement. Take one exercise at a time. Don't think, oh, I have to get to jumps, or oh, the turns today, or whatever. Whatever combination you're on, really focus on it. Where's my placement? Where are my feet? What are they doing? Where's my port de bras? If you really, really focus, you'll improve that much quicker. The other thing you can do is pick something you're going to focus on that day. Today I'm going to work on my turnout. Today I'm going to work on my feet. Whatever it is, you can pick one thing, and that also focuses your attention. So the key thing is to really be aware and mindful when you're in class. No matter if you have that one class a week or if you have 1,000 classes that week, make sure you're really focused. I've been told by my ballet teachers that I have promise, but I've been injured for the last 6 months and I've lost so much strength and confidence in my pointe work. And I doubt I have a chance of getting into a company. Do you have any suggestions that could help me? 6 months, I think you're absolutely fine. Do not worry about it. Just keep working on what you can work on. When I had my 2 ankle sprains when I was in the school and then one in the company, I would sit in a chair and go over my ballets with just the arms. Sounds ridiculous, but it's what I could do at the time. I did a lot of Pilates. I really tried to do everything that I could other than and still stay off that foot. So really keep doing what you can. I think it's about sort of compensating and just keep doing what your body allows you to right now. And I know it's really hard to have a positive attitude when you're injured. Trust me, I've been there. But you really have to take one day at a time. That's really all you have is one day at a time. So ask yourself, okay, what today can I do to focus my career and to improve it? And that should help you, and you'll be back before you know it. I always hold my upper body very tensely and can't seem to relax. My arms look stiff and my shoulders always come up in 2nd and 5th high. My dance teacher is constantly telling me to relax and breathe, but even when I do, I must not relax completely because I still look tense. When I do manage to relax, I let go of my core and lose all my upper body alignment. Do you have any advice? Well, I will be coming up in December, I have a bar for your back and your arm flexibility coming up. I also have a workout plan for that. But for right now, what I want you to think about is your arms coming from your back. Your arms don't come from your shoulders. They come from your back, in between your shoulder blades. So if you really think of them coming in between your shoulder blades, when you lift your arms, your shoulders should stay down. So really think of them coming from your back rather than lifting your shoulders. And everything in your core, everything comes from your core. Every step you do stems from your core. So I would just maybe do some Pilates and really focus on that area. Tell a Pilates teacher the trouble you're having. But I will be doing a further video on this because this requires a lot more explanation. So for now, really just think of your arms coming from your back, and that should help you. When I hold arabesques, my back gets very tight and it starts to ache a lot. My dance teacher says it's because I sink in my back. How do I pull out of my back? I had that problem too when I was a student. I was very bendy, and so I would often sink in my lower back. And what that means is that you're arching. You're arching in your lower back and you're kind of jamming all your bones together. So what you want to do is think of bending from your upper back. Think of arabesque coming from the inner thigh rather than from the lower back, and lift up out of the upper back and really sort of bend from there. It's basically try not to just arch in the lower back, arch in your middle back and your upper back. Again, as I said in the previous question, I will be doing a further back sort of video, back workout, a bar for your back. But for now, really try and think of it not coming from the lower back, but your arabesque comes from your inner thigh and you use your middle and upper back. How many years of ballet did it take you to get up to pointe? Well, for me, this is kind of different from everybody else because I started dancing when I was 3, but I really didn't start dancing seriously until I was probably 6, when I took serious ballet classes, actually stood at the bar rather than sort of jumping over crowns or whatever, running around with a wand. So I was probably 6 or 7, and I went on pointe at 11. So 4 to 5 years of serious ballet training. That's not for everybody. If you start later in life, you might only need 2 to 3 years. It just depends on how developed your bones are, how developed your feet are, and how much strength you have. So if I had started at 8, I probably still would have gone on a pointe at 11 just because my bones were ready. So it really just depends, again, on when you start. Final question. I'd love to improve my ballet technique, and I was wondering if you did private lessons over video chat. Not at this time, but actually I'm glad you asked this, because I was thinking about, there is this website where I could set up a live online class, and everybody who logs in not only can take the class live with me, but I can actually see you all. I'm looking into it. It's a little bit tricky, but it is in the back of my brain. And that would, I'd maybe set up one time a week, maybe on a weekend when people don't have school and things. And we could just once a week do a live class where I could see all of you. I could teach it. I could use all my own music, which I am working on producing, by the way. But would be really excited to do that. So I'm looking into it. So that way it wouldn't really be a private lesson, but you would do it wherever you could, and I could still see all of you. So I'm working on it. So if you're interested in that, if you think that would be a good idea, that you'd be interested in a sort of live class, let me know in the comments below. So that is my Q&A for today. I hope you enjoyed this. Again, you can always come back to this video and watch only certain questions if you like by looking at the times below. As I mentioned to you in the intro, I'm wrapping up the Nutcracker makeup series within the next few weeks, and we'll be taking a makeup break for a while. I will be going back to it eventually, but it's going to be a lot more of ballet and workouts and technique, as well as a lot of my life and what's going on. I love you all. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on Friday.